Hi, guys. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of the student interview series. My name is Anandi Chadat, and I am the Chief Communications Officer for the Steamboat. And today I have a special guest with me. Um, Her name is Ashi, and she is another classmate of mine who has done a lot in the STEM community and has done a lot of impressive things. She's taken multiple AP classes that are very rigorous and has also started her own club. So, Ashi, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Ashi. I'm in 11th grade and happy to be here.
Okay, great. I'm happy that you're here as well. So, let's start off with what um what STEM means to you. So, how long have you been passionate about STEM and what inspires you to continue working in STEM or pursuing a career in STEM as a student?
I'm not gonna lie, I only started like seriously focusing in on STEM about 2 years ago. Um, Sorry, what was what were the parts in your question?
I was just asking you that what like inspired you to like do STEM and continue that throughout like high school? Like what got you into STEM essentially?
Yeah, so I only started getting interested in STEM 2 years ago, and what got me started to be interested in STEM in the first place, I'd say one was not even STEM itself. It was actually, I was passionate about taking care of children or just helping people in general. It was more community based thing, and I figured the best way I could do it was through STEM because even though I could have done something social, like becoming a teacher or something, I didn't think that I would make the best use of my capabilities being some sort of a teacher. Not that teachers uh, aren't talented. It's just
Of
that
course.
I want to challenge myself as well and expand my own learning. And I figured being a scientist or something of the sort, being a doctor, it would get me more in the loop with the science behind helping people. And the other one was my mom. So both of my parents are chemists, but it was especially more so my mom because throughout childhood, I was able to talk with her about um, her work, and she really got me interested in the work field. She's really passionate about chemistry, and so therefore, through her passion, it sparked my own passion for science.
That is a very unique answer. It's not really one that you hear a lot. Like personally, me, I got into STEM because um my parents kind of put me in these competitions and stuff since I was younger. And so I feel like of course, I didn't develop that sense of community base like you did, which I think is really cool actually, because you not only are like, okay, what can I do with my own capabilities to do the best for like as in terms of career, but you're also thinking about like community, and I think that is amazing. And the parent thing too, like I know how much of an influence parents can have, and especially with somebody who is so passionate. So I'm glad that you have parents that are passionate about what they're doing and that helped inspire what you want to do in the future as well. Um, so, um, how are your classes going right now? Like in terms of from freshman year to junior year now, what classes have you taken that really showcase your journey through STEM?
Okay, so in terms, I've I can go through the list of STEM top things that I've taken in high school. So in freshman year, I took biology, and I took, I'm pretty sure Algebra 2 honors. Then I did summer school for chemistry because the 10th grade I wanted to do AP Chem. We'll get into that after my whole thing. And then I did GVPE on that year too, and pre-calc honors. And then this year I'm taking Bio AP and I Calc BC. And as for Chem AP, let me just say, even though it was really hard, especially with my lack of chemistry, well, even though my parents were chemists, you kind of need to take the class if you haven't learned a lot of chemistry. Like, I didn't learn it in depth with my parents. So, even though it was hard, I managed to pull through with it. I got an A, so I think that's all right.
No, I'm proud of you for that because that is a hard class. And I mean, I have personal experience as well. It is not an easy class at all. And I completely agree with you. It is like a lot of the AP classes that many people do take don't a lot of people don't take the prerequisites like properly for them, and because they're not taking those right prerequisites, they're not able to perform as well as they should, if they had taken those. So I completely agree with you on that statement. Like, you need to take like the prerequisites if you want to advance to the next class. And so for that, obviously you need some extra planning on the side. So like you planned out your summer to do Chem 1 so that you could do AP Chem, right? And I know people that probably would have just jumped into AP Chem if it wasn't like a required class. And so I think that's very important to consider. Um, I also did want to talk to you a little about GBBE because it is not like a common course found through nationwide. It's not called that. So could you explain a little bit about what GBBE might be to the people who don't know?
So GBBE in our school district, it's supposed to be a prerequisite to AP biology. It's more of an in-depth look towards biology, where in the regular course we learned about the basics of it, like phagocytosis happens and animal kingdom, whatever. For GBBE, it's more so we have more of an in-depth look on genetics and microbiology, which I'd say when I was younger, I used to think that if it was something like, oh, animal kingdom, things like that, then animal behavior, it all seems easy. When it comes to the bigger words like microbiology and genetics, it sounds really hard. But through this course and through a lot of the lab practicals that we did in that course, I learned that it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
I I agree with you. I mean, I didn't when I was younger, I thought a lot of things were different. Like I thought a cell was like whenever someone talked about a cell, I was like, "Oh, you're talking about a jail cell, right?" I didn't realize there are things that make up your body. But yeah, that course is very important for AP Bio. I agree with you on that. So it looks like you've taken a lot of classes, like you've taken multiple math courses and they're like advanced math courses too, you guys. Okay, usually freshman year people take what is it? Algebra 1, I think. Yeah, Algebra 1. And you're out here taking Algebra 2 in freshman year, which is 2 years ahead, which is very impressive. I know that in like in certain school districts like ours, that's normalized, but when you look at it in a broad scale, like nationwide, it is pretty impressive to be doing that advanced math course. So, how is your it looks like you've taken plenty of math courses, and I've already asked you about your science courses. So, how has your experience been with your math courses, like thus far?
I actually really like math. Not as much as other people, but I like the ability to it a lot of it's just logic stuff. When it comes to like chemistry or biology, it's more of an application. However, for math, I'd say it's you get to train your mind a lot more because it's just simply on the logic itself.
Mhm.
And so far, they're going pretty great for me. I mean, I'm getting good grades in them. That's for one. And for another, I like studying for math, which is the nerdiest thing you can think of.
No way, I agree with you. I actually don't have that big of a passion for math as you might, but I feel studying for math is a little bit better than it is for other classes because you just do problems and problem sets. Once you start getting the right answer and you start understanding it, math can be really fun. Unfortunately, for somebody like me, that happens very, very rarely. So I'm glad that you're enjoying your math classes. Someone has to be that person that's enjoying math. I'm not that person, but I'm glad you are.
I,
Um,
no, I think you're really smart.
no, I'm really no. Um, let's continue on. I've talked about academics for a while now, but are you taking I know a lot of people do this, but I'm wondering if you're doing the same thing. I know a lot of people plan out their courses according to what they're going to major in college. So is that something that maybe you're doing as well, potentially?
Planning my courses for what I'm gonna major in. Yeah, I would say so. I think that I have something more concrete than others, less concrete than it should be on what I want to be. So therefore, that's why I'm taking stuff like AP Econ or AP English. I think more than when you're in high school, more than just trying to make it fit your major, which is something that you kind of should do, especially if you want to be in like law or pre-med. More than that, you should also consider the fact that you will take small informations from other classes and still apply it, maybe not even to your major but just to your own understanding. Like for instance, in English, sometimes you'll read just like a really small short story that's supposed to be part of a really small activity, but that short story can stick with you for the entirety of your life and push you towards your own goals inadvertently. So,
No, I agree. Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Because there's always books like that that are just like, oh, whoa, I didn't think I would learn. Like, for me, like, English was always like a class that even though I was always interested in science, it was always like a class where I was like, I actually like. I know a lot of people don't like English anymore as they get older, but I relate to you on that the fact that sometimes you can read things in English that might help you later like that. So definitely the thing about like you should pick out your so you're saying that you should pick out your courses according to your thing, but you shouldn't leave out the other courses as well, like just because they're not part of your is that am I getting
yeah.
that right? Okay. Okay. I agree with you completely. Like, I think when you're so laser focused on getting one thing, you forget about the other important things. So I think that's very important. Um, academically, what advice would you give to students taking these STEM courses? I'm gonna need this advice as well. So,
This is the first thing that pops to mind is in AP Chem, while I was still behind some other people were more ahead of me, but I'd say don't even focus on other people getting ahead of you, which is really hard to do, especially at this age, especially in a concentrated environment where you're directly seeing other people's achievements. Instead of doing that, focus on your own um, growth and your own pathway to getting that A or A plus or whatever grade you want to get, because you won't grow at the same pace as others, and it's just really delusional to think that you would.
yeah, no, I agree with you. And that is like definitely a thing. A lot of people don't talk about it, but it is true that like all the time, especially in high school, everybody is like getting things at different times. So like someone might like win a competition that you were also at, but you didn't do as well in. But then the next day you might get something like you might like win another competition that the other person didn't win in. So I completely agree with you. Like it's kind of hard to not feel bad about yourself when you're not doing as good as you hope, but like that advice is like very pertinent and very like very like very relatable and very relative to this because it's not talked about a lot, but in STEM courses like AP Chem, AP Calc, those courses are hard. They're not easy courses. AP Bio too, like not easy at all. And so it's definitely important to see your growth. Um, yeah. And then I was just wondering, I wasn't able to ask you about your extracurriculars just yet. Do you want to go a little bit in depth about what extracurriculars you've done so far and your experiences in all of them? If there's too many, you can obviously, condense it a little bit.
Well, I'd say the extracurriculars I did that I got some achievement on, or at least some growth on. For one, I do instruments like violin and piano. I do fiddlers, and I do all like piano competitions, violin competitions, all these things that aren't even STEM related, but they're just for fun. I have, hmm, I did HOSA, and I'm actually kind of proud of myself for doing HOSA and continuing with it because not to boast, to boast, last year I got third place in states, and so I was able to go into nationals, and I felt pretty good about myself. Um, some other things I did, I started my own research project, and I did that through middle school as well, and it just really kind of concentrates all the experiences you'll get in STEM into your high school career, which helps you in your future. Um, on top of that, I'm coming to a blank. Oh, I do volunteering, which just I do tutoring. Yeah, I do tutoring too, which I'm vice president of Read and Repeat, which is an ESL tutoring tutoring organization, which yeah, it doesn't fit in with STEM either, but it still helps me hammer in the fact that I want to help people. And well, I'm kind of drawing a blank.
No, you're okay.
Biology competitions, just some random biology competitions, some science competitions in general. I did math competitions for a while.
You're a busy person. I'm not surprised that you're drawing a blank because you have so many activities that you've accumulated in the past like 2 years. This is why I need help with math. I couldn't even. Okay. So you've done a lot, and do not even put yourself down about the HOSA thing. Okay, ILC is huge. Okay, it is hard to get to ILC. You should be very, very, very proud of yourself. That is a huge achievement, and I know everybody at our school was like cheering you on and was very proud of you. Um,
Thank
I
you.
I remember being told that like I didn't do HOSA last year, but I remember being told that getting into ILC is like states is not as hard, obviously, but getting to ILC is pretty hard. But you did it, and do you want to tell us like everybody about like the event that you did in HOSA last year and maybe your way to success, if I could call it, if I could say that, I consider it a huge success to get into ILC.
Yeah, so the event I did was called Human Growth and Development. Just from the title itself, you can kind of tell it's about from birth to death. What are all the different changes, stages that a person goes through in their life? How does the medical system treat them? How does their own body treat them? Things of that sort. And so I think that one of the reasons I did pretty well on that was because I was already passionate about the topic, even though I didn't even know before reading the topic that I was passionate about it. It tied into what I wanted to be. I didn't say this before, but I wanted to be a pediatrician. Now it's kind of leading into I want to be in the help the military, be a doctor for them. I don't know. My mind's just going in
No,
different places.
that's completely fine. You should see my mind.
But back then, I really wanted to be a pediatrician, and so that plus some clinical experience I had in interning, volunteering stuff like that, that really it it was both studying and the outside things that I did that helped me achieve my goal in getting into ILC. And for those of you out there who would want to also get into ILC, I'd say don't just treat it like, if you really want to get into ILC, don't just treat it as some sort of thing on your to-do list. Constantly think about why you want to do something or implement it in your own life as well. If you have a goal, implement it in your own life. Don't just put it on the list.
I agree with you. No, that is big, and I love how everything that you do is related back to your community and your sense of wanting to help people. Like you started off this interview telling me how, you love like, you wanted to take care of like children, you wanted to help people and all that stuff. And I think it's amazing that that aspect of your life contributes to your success because when you're truly passionate about something, those things add up and help you become successful. And I feel like, like Ashi, like seeing that from you is like amazing. This is like great, like awesome, guys. So if you're passionate about something, work on it, I guess. I guess that's like the message here, if I'm getting that right. Um, and I think that's amazing. I think I also some other extracurriculars that you did also stood out to me. Like you don't just do like STEM activities. You're pretty well rounded. Like you're a pretty well rounded individual, I'd like to say, because you don't just do like, okay, I'm just doing STEM all the time. That is a little burdensome for everybody to just do the same thing over and over every single day. Like that routine is a little much. But so you do violin, um you do violin competitions, yeah, violin competitions, and you also are part of like fiddlers, which is also, if you guys don't know, it is I think it's a club for, I don't want to explain it too much. Do you want to go into it for like a minute?
Sure, yeah. It's so at the end of the year, some students who are going into anything that's not college, they'll audition in front of the other fiddlers, the other members of the group, to perform with them the years that come after. It's a high school, I maybe more than a club, it's just a high school orchestra group where we play fiddling music as well as learn how to dance while we are playing the violin or whatever instrument we're playing. And we go to concerts and events outside of the concerts that the orchestra provides for us.
No, no, it's really cool to watch you guys. It's really cool. It's really fun. So I love that you do more than just STEM. You care about your community, and you clearly input that through um, your STEM activities. I'm losing my mind. Also, you mentioned that you've done a research project and you've started your own club as well. Do you want to maybe go into those two activities a little bit more for the people that may be interested in those?
Oh, yeah. So for the research thing, I think that research is becoming a lot more popular among the youth to get into college, and which is, I think, is a good thing. So usually when people think of research first and foremost, I want to say they always think, oh, I have to make something that changes the world. That's not always the case. You should do something yes, doing something big will help you, but it doesn't, doing something big doesn't mean you have to change the world. Doing something big can also mean you're doing a silly project, what something you would consider as silly, like something that's art related, but as long as you put a lot of effort into it, as long as the research is pretty good, and as long as you present it well and put it in the right places, then you'll get a lot of success into it. In this case, I from GBBE, what we learned about bacteria a lot, and instead of focusing on bacteria over the summer, I wanted to focus on fungi. And so I was doing this research project where basically, instead of using antifungal creams that the store usually provides for us, I used turmeric, I used Ayurvedic materials and all
Hmm.
those things as antifungal mediums to kind of slow down fungal growth. Over the summer, I did try to get into some research things. However, because of either money or just some stuff like that, I couldn't do them. Which when at that time what kind of left me a little sad. I tried to contact some professors over the time, but I they were all busy. For all I know, maybe I could have tried a little bit more, but the point is I still kept pushing on that research project, and right now I'm busy writing a proposal for that, for any sort of opportunity that I can get in my hands to share my findings.
Wow, okay, that's impressive work and it's unique too. Like I've never thought about fungi growth or any of that, and I took the same class as you did, you know. This shows that, you know, you can find research out of the littlest things, and there's so much in the world that's like left unknown. And so doing a research project that and taking that initiative in itself, Ashi, I think is very impressive. I've had similar experiences with the research thing. I've emailed so many professors. They don't have time all the time, unfortunately. And it's okay. I completely relate to you on the feeling bad about it because it's like, oh, I wish they would just respond, but they unfortunately not all of them have time. But just taking that initiative and doing that is very, very interesting. I like your experiment is very creative and very unique, and I hope that one day we get to see like Ashi's findings on in the world of like maybe you'll get a PhD or something. Which is, you know, knowing you, you're gonna be successful. I can see it. Okay. And
Thank
then
you.
your club. Oh, sorry. Were you saying something?
Oh no, I was just going to go on to the club.
Okay.
So I'm starting a club with my co-founder. His name is Aslan Khan. Aslan Khan. I might as well pronounce it correctly. Sometimes I bother him by pronouncing it. Anyway, that's a tangent. Um, I work with him to I worked with him to create this club where basically with Aslan's love for literature, for art, and for my love of helping the community, we're going to combine together and we're going to start some projects where even though not always, even though a lot of clubs in our school have to do with students directly going to an organization and helping them. It's not really personalized, so we want to make it personalized by having them do this sort of projects to share with patients and especially bedridden patients. And if I were to get into why I even started the club, more than that, I don't want to reveal too much information on who I'm talking about, but there is somebody I know personally, and he is bedridden, and his son is in a wheelchair, And basically, it's been pretty hard for the family, and especially for the son. Like, yeah, the pain also hurts, but the pain of being bedridden, of being in a wheelchair hurts, but it's also you get bored. You get bored and you want to connect with the world, but you can't really do that because you're different. So don't I don't think that people should feel that way. So I want to make people more connected through these sort of initiatives, and so that's why I started this club.
Like, wow, like you are just an amazing person, Ashi. Um, like that is like not only are you integrating your love for medicine into this, you're taking care of somebody like you have a personal experience with this, which makes this more personal, and you're doing so much for the community. Like, bro, that is like kudos to you. Like that is amazing. Um, that is very important for I think so many of us now that are pursuing these STEM careers. Yeah, we're going on to pursue them, but then we forget the reason why we're doing it. But I love how you're not letting that what your goal is to, yeah, your goal is to get into medicine, but you're also making sure that you're doing things that got you into it first in the first place, which is helping your community. And Ashi, I hope that your club grows bigger, and I hope that a lot of people join your club because it is one that needs more recognition, and it is wow, you are doing an amazing job. I'm proud to call you like my friend. Thank you for like sharing all this information today. It was awesome to hear about all the things you're doing, like from the academics, from the extracurriculars to the club that you've started, like all rounder, all rounder. Um, I know that I keep on like interrupting you. Is there any final thoughts, any advice you'd like to give to anybody who wants to, follow the same path that you are right now?
You're not going you're not really going to when you grow up, you won't really, whatever you think in your head will happen won't actually happen. Even my mom, she loves chemistry, but work, you don't really get what you want in work. You have to collaborate with others. Sometimes they won't even agree with you. But as long as you have a certain goal in your mind, whether it's even for money, like for things outside of passion or for your work or whatever, as long as you figure out what you want to do that drives you, and even if it's not career related, if it's just something like passions related, anything of that sort, whatever goal you have, you should take steps to achieve it because you only live once, so you might as well live it correctly.
You need to get like someone needs to hire you for like the inspiration quotes that they do in like in like books and stuff. Like you literally, I'm feeling motivated right now to like start writing like I don't know, just like start writing something, start doing something. Um, someone needs to hire you for the inspiration quotes. Like it's crazy. Like you're doing awesome with that. Um, but thank you so much. Like your experiences, I know I've learned a lot, and I hope that all of our viewers have also learned a lot today. Lots to learn from you for sure. Um, and thank you for coming. It was an honor to have you on today. Do you have any
Thank you
final
for inviting
thoughts?
me. Keep doing what you're doing, everybody, but do it
Yes,
better.
yes. That's also important. But
Hmm?
thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
so So, thank you guys for listening in for today's episode. Um, there will be more episodes coming up in the next upcoming weeks, so keep on looking on our website and also our Instagram as well. Um, obviously, if you haven't already, please go ahead and follow our Instagram. It is the Steamboat at then there's an underscore steamboat for the advertising, and as well as our TikTok. And we've posted a lot of fun stuff on there, lots of interesting stuff. We have an extracurricular workshop coming up soon, so please go ahead and look into that as well. But thank you guys for listening into this episode, and we had an amazing speaker today. And that's it. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.